Hi Year 7, this is a video to show you how to draw your final design in your pewter in 3D. Now, near enough the whole world around us is in 3 dimensions, so everything has a width, everything has a height, and everything has a depth, including this piece of paper, even though it's very, very thin. So, that makes it 3D. If I were to draw a square, that is a 2D object. If I was to make that into a cube, that's a 3D object. So what I want you to do is to make your flat design that you may have chosen, so mine was a guitar pluck, which was something like that. I want you to give that a depth like this. Now, so you can see something that's real, that is similar to what you might be making. I've got my keys here, okay? So I've got a heart-shaped key ring. Now, if I were to draw that in 2D, it would look like that, okay? But in actual fact, when you look at it, it's actually got a depth to it. And that is approximately the same depth that your pewter's going to be. So what I'm going to show you on another sheet of paper is how to draw some basic shapes in 3D, and then I'm going to show you what I want you to do in your pewter work. So let's get another sheet of paper. So basic shapes at that sort of thickness in 3D. Now I'm going to do this quickly so it will be rough. So I'm going to do, so this is my 2D shape column, and this will be my 3D shape column. So we can have a square, we can have a circle, might have a heart. I know a lot of you have done music notes. It's a bit of a rubbish drawing of a music note. I think that yours are better. And you might have, let's have an abstract shape so you can understand how to create that into a 3D object as well. So to convert that 3D, something that thick, what I'm first going to do is I'm going to draw it on a slight angle. So rather than replicating that there, I'm going to draw it on an ever so slight angle, like so. Now, with anything that's got a corner, that's really easy. All we need to do is draw a very short line on the sides that we're going to make it 3D. So if I draw lines there and join them up, and draw the line there and join it up, all of a sudden that shape has become 3D. Circle, not quite so easy. So we draw our circle. Now we're going to draw a line, and just from experience I can tell you it's approximately here. And then the other one is going to be approximately there. And I'm just going to join that curve up. So I now have it in 3 dimensions. The heart. I'm going to draw a little line here because that's a point. And then I'm also going to draw a little line here because that's the same as the circle here. And I'm going to make this go in, and then I'm going to make it join up to here, and then on here, because this is a separate part of it, I'm going to draw another line there and take it round. Line should have been like that, and then you've got a 3D object. This one, I'm going to draw it on an angle again. The angle is just to help you. It might not necessarily be that all of them you draw on an angle. So we're going to draw 3 dimensions on here. So this top part's going to have a 3D bit. This side part's going to have a 3D bit. And then this bottom piece, it's not going to be 3D there because you can't see that part, but you will be able to see the bit on this side. So I'm going to draw, that's 3D. Now for something slightly more complicated, like this one, what we're going to do, let's move that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw that on an angle as well. something like that. And I'm going to have a 3D part on the bottom here, and then a 3D part on here, and then 3D parts on the top. So as you can see, the pattern I've got here is all of my 3D parts are all on the right hand side of my drawings. I haven't drawn anything on the left hand side, so there's not going to be a 3D part here. So right hand side and top would be the rule here. Now actually, I said about the bottom, we'll have a look once I've drawn these bits to see if it needs it. I might have been wrong. So this part goes like that, that part goes like that, this part goes like that. So think of the top of the heart. This bit is going to come out here, and we're going to have a 3D bit, and it will go down to about there, and that will create it in 3D. Because this side here, this part here, this side is on the right hand side of the object, it will be partly 3D. So that is your how to draw in 3 dimensions part. Now going on to the actual worksheet itself, I'm going to get rid of these for a moment. I'm sorry that you've got the shadow of my mobile that's recording this here, but hopefully you'll be able to see. First of all, I'd like you to start out in pencil, and I would like you to draw your design like so in here. And I'm going to draw my 3D part. Like that. So that is my design, my guitar pluck drawn in 3D. Now I'm also going to add some holes in mine. That was part of my design. So I'm going to draw my holes in. Now holes are going to be the opposite of here. So rather than drawing my whole 3 dimensions here, I'm going to actually just add a little bit like that, and that will create my holes. Now I need to twist the paper around so I can write on it. So I had the dates of Glastonbury written on there, and I also had Glastonbury written across here. There we go. Now what I'd like you to do is fine line that, and I'm going to come back to you in a moment once I've fine lined my image. So my image has been fine lined, and now what I need to do is I need to shade it. Now if you can imagine that there's a sun shining from this part of the paper, anything that is directly in line with the sun is going to be quite light. So all of this part here is going to be light to the point that you almost don't need anything. Okay, and as we go away from it, it's going to get darker. And then somewhere in the middle, we're going to have some mid-tones. So that's the sort of shading I'd like to see. Around the side, it's going to be still quite light because it's quite close to the sun. And then at the bottom, it's going to be much darker. And then it will be mid-tones in between. Now I am doing this quite quickly, so I'd like to think that yours would be a little bit neater than mine. And when you select a direction to shade in, continue shading in that direction. So all of that bit I've been going that way, and all of this bit I've been going this way. And at the corners I've kind of gone around. There we go. Now anything that's a hole is going to be dark because the sun can't get in that hole. So that portion there, the moon sort of shapes, are going to be really dark. So that's the roughest pressure you're going to have to apply. So again, it's going to start off light here, and as it gets down to here, it's going to get darker. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to have dark and dark too much. So where it's dark and it's joining into another dark patch, you want to lighten up ever so slightly so you can see a contrast between the two parts. I hope I hope now that you can see that that is two separate parts. So it's still going to be quite dark up this side. And then it's going to lighten up when you get to the middle. Now, we also want to think about the fact that we want this to be a shiny product, okay? We want this to be nice and attractive. So sometimes we might, even though it might still be a darkish area or a mid-tone area, might want to actually just sort of leave a bit of a gap to indicate the shine. Like I'm doing here. There we go, and that is my pewter shaded in. Now, that's not quite all you need to do. You need to then start enabling all your key parts. So, engraving. This is the hole for the chain. I could draw another line around to the other part. Okay, I would also like you to label that it's got a shiny surface. And I'd like you to add 5 additional points about your design. So you need to add, other than the obvious things that I've labelled there, your annotation has to have another 5 points about your design. It could be how it links with Glastonbury. It could be something else about your design that I've not highlighted here. And then I'd like you to have a go at the what went well and the even better if. I hope that this video has helped you produce some really lovely work. Thank you very much, and I shall look forward to seeing it.